Arkansas farmers fuck around and they're finding out. I don't celebrate Arkansas farmers losing their farms, but actions have consequences. They overwhelmingly voted for Donald Trump, and now they're finding out that racism, culture wars, and blind loyalty do not put food on the table. They don't. They actually cost you everything. And that now they're asking the government for a bailout. They're asking them for a handout. But I thought MAGA and the Republicans didn't believe in socialism, didn't believe in programs, didn't believe in handouts. They overwhelmingly said no to student loan forgiveness. And now they're asking, for money from the government. Hell no. You fuck around, you're going to find out. You made your bed, you're going to lay on it. You're going to go to sleep on it. And hopefully you have one in the morning. But the way it's looking, many farmers are going to lose their farms in 2025 and 2026. They fucked around and they're finding out. And, Kamala Harris had a plan for them. But they voted for this guy. Good luck. Good luck.
Thoughts and tariffs. Arkansas farmers who are begging the federal government to save them. Thoughts and tariffs. Aw, you just wanted a little bit of racism and you went bankrupt. Aww. China remains absent from U.S. soybean market as soybeans begin harvest. Soybean farmers are under extreme financial stress. Prices continue to drop. And at the same time, our farmers are paying significantly more for inputs and equipment. Oh, I'm sorry. Thoughts and tariffs, once again. U.S. soybean farmers cannot survive a prolonged trade dispute with our largest customer. China bought 54% of U.S. soybean exports in the 2023-2024 marketing year, under one Joseph Robinette Biden. Farm bankruptcies in the first quarter surpassed all of 2024. Woo! America, you would think you learned from the first time he was president, but no. You just wanted a little bit of racism. You just wanted a little bit of racism and you went bankrupt. Aw, I'm gonna laugh when China buys your foreclosed farm for pennies on the dollar. I am going to be just enjoying that. You played yourself, and you're going to continue to play yourself. You thought the guy who bankrupted 6 companies was going to help you. Oh, you thought this was left versus right. Yeah, it wasn't top versus bottom. You played yourself. We tried to warn you. We tried. So if you're saying I'm being heartless on this, I'm being heartless, we tried to tell you that 1 + 1 = 2. And you continue to argue that simple math. You try to say 1 + 1 = 36. And then the next day, 1 + 1 = 93. Na boo boo. Ha ha. And you play yourself. Because you refuse reality.
Now, these are the kind of comments and reactions the MAGA farmers will be receiving in the coming years. Why is that so? Because these people knew very well that these things were going to happen. And they tried warning these MAGA supporters, these MAGA farmers. For example, right now, farmers in Nebraska, farmers in Texas, farmers in Arkansas are literally complaining and crying. We saw over the weekend, the Arkansas farmers were begging Donald Trump for handouts. They were begging for bailouts. They are saying in the coming years, in the coming months, they will be filing for bankruptcy. I mean, 1 out of 3 farmers will be filing for bankruptcy. That's not a good sign. But these people were literally warned. Donald Trump himself, while he was campaigning, he went to these farms, including Arkansas farmers. He told them very well, I'm going to come up with tariffs. I'm going to impose policies. And these farmers, when they heard so, they thought that they knew very well deep inside that these policies Donald Trump is talking about were going to literally affect them. Here's how it affected them. Number 1, the mass deportation policy and the border policy. You see, these Arkansas farmers, some of them are filing for bankruptcy because they don't have immigrants and enough workers to work in their farms, to harvest their soybeans, to till their land, to package and export these things. They don't have enough workers. Why? Because mass immigration happened. The Donald Trump's administration took away all their workers and deported them. They now don't have enough workers to work in their farms. And now, since they don't have workers to work in their farms, they have to do it themselves. Number two, tariffs. Farmers should understand very well that something called tariff is very, very bad when it comes to matters of agriculture. It will really, really affect them. Right now, Arkansas farmers are producing soybeans. It is their harvesting seasons. But unfortunately, they can't sell the soybeans to China. China was the largest consumer of their soybeans. Yeah. Now the tariffs came. China ran away. They said, no, we can't do business with a country that is imposing tariffs left, right, and center every day, every night. Now let's just go buy our soybeans in Argentina or Uruguay. Now the farmers are in harvesting seasons. They don't know where they will take all their soybeans. Yeah. You see, these are just some of the Donald Trump's policies that are affecting them. But consequences have actions. The people of America tried to warn you guys. They told you that indeed these policies are going to happen. Donald Trump himself said, but they didn't listen. They thought that let's just vote for our man because when he becomes president, we'll be excluded out of this policies and out of these laws. We won't be affected. And now they are here crying, demanding for handouts, demanding for bailouts, crying for and filing for bankruptcy, looking for help left, right, and center. But the help is nowhere to be seen because these are just the consequences of their actions. In this video, I want us to see some of the clips of people reminding them that we warned you. We told you that this was going to happen, but you didn't want to listen. Now, consequences have actions. You voted for this, and now you are getting exactly what you voted for. Because if you don't want to listen, then please cry in silence. Let's watch these videos together, guys, and then I'll be giving my commentaries at the end.
Racism, misogyny, and sexism comes with a mighty cost. And it is a cost that farmers all across the state of Arkansas are currently having to pay. Folks, I want to dispel this notion that farmers in Arkansas had no idea the negative impacts that Donald Trump's tariffs could have on them. I think if I had to choose any job group in the United States that would understand tariffs, it would be farmers. They knew full well the impact that this could have on them, but they believed that in return for their vote, there would be carve-outs, there would be bailouts for them by the Trump administration from the negative effects of tariffs. And they've yet to receive that from the Trump administration. So this idea that they didn't see this coming or that farmers are just stupid is a fallacy. They knew full well what they were voting for, but they expected to be exempt. And I think that's the case for a lot of people right now that are being negatively impacted by Donald Trump's policies. And they voted for him because they thought that they would be exempt. Sexism, misogyny, and racism comes with a cost. And it's a cost you better be willing to bear, especially if that's going to be the sole reason you vote for an individual.
I've been thinking about all of these farmers in Arkansas who are finding out that their votes matter. Your prayers don't. Jesus has got to be so confused because a few months ago they were praying to protect Donald Trump and to make sure that he was elected president. And now they are praying to Jesus that Donald Trump changes his mind and gives them a bailout. Like Donald Trump showed up in the middle of your farms and told you exactly what he was going to do. I'm going to deport everybody in this country. And that didn't make your alarms go off to think, wait a second, I have a bunch of illegal immigrants who are working my farms. This would not be good business for me. Maybe I should vote for somebody else. No, I'll vote for Donald Trump. And then Donald Trump sat there and said, I'm going to cut foreign aid to any foreign country. And you guys thought he was only talking about Ukraine because you guys are a bunch of fuck. No, he was talking about everybody. He cut the whole department. That was your number one customer. And then your number two customer is China, that he decided to put tariffs on. So now China told us all to fuck off, and they're buying their soybeans elsewhere. I'll be darned. You guys just got what you asked for. The only way you can undo this is to join our chorus once and for all, us liberals, who told you all along that this was going to fuck everything up for everybody. You guys are just the first few to start finding out. We're all going to get screwed here. So anyway, the solution here is for you guys to speak the fuck up and go tell your elected representatives that if they don't grow a backbone quick and start standing up to Donald Trump and undoing this bullshit, you're not going to re-elect them. And then it doesn't matter who's gerrymandering, because if enough people get fucked by the Trump administration, then you guys are going to have to start voting for the alternative to your Republicans. That means you got to start voting for Democrats. And there's so many people in this country who would rather vote against themselves than vote for a fuck Democrat. Introducing farmers in Arkansas. You guys just voted against yourselves. No liberal tears for you guys. Fuck around and you find out. Join the chorus and stand up to this bullshit, and let's bring it to an end. In the meantime, your prayers aren't going to work, but your votes just did. Learn that lesson first.
To all my farmer neighbors, my name is Susie, and I live in rural Missouri. You were warned over and over and over. We told you there was no drag queen story hour. There were no furries in our school using litter boxes. But you guys refused to call the superintendent of the schools like I did. I called Rolla Public Schools and asked Dr. Dare if there was any truth to that. He laughed and said maybe I was watching too much TV. We told you that China signed 20-year contracts with Brazil for soybeans. You laughed in our face. I'm not going to say I told you so, but I do not want to bail you out for the next 20 years, and I will fight against it. China signed 20-year contracts with Brazil for soybeans because of Donald J. Trump. They don't want our soybeans. They don't want our beef. They don't want our wheat. They don't want anything we grow. As far as we're concerned, China can stick it up our ass. And can you blame them? Can you really blame them?
There's a major outcry going on in the US farming industry right now because so many farms are struggling. And I've seen videos this afternoon from Arkansas, for example, where farmers have got together and they're asking Trump for social assistance. They're saying, hey, help us out. But this is the policies that they voted for. They voted for mass deportations. And now it's going south on them big time. So what do these guys expect? You know? And now they're asking for money because their farms are going out of business. They said their markets have been taken away from them. They said they don't have enough labor to pick the crops. And as a result of that, their farms are dying. And so is the livelihood. But these are guys, especially in Arkansas, who voted overwhelmingly for Donald Trump and his policies. And now they're asking for handouts. Sorry, folks. No sympathy from me. Let me know what you think about this in the comments.
Here we go again. Another around and find out moment. This one, Arkansas farmers. Yep, Arkansas farmers who voted overwhelmingly for President Trump. Well, here's a quote from one of those Arkansas farmers, and I'm going to do it in my best Arkansas accent. Right now, we're in a very dire situation. September is upon us. Harvest is starting in the deep south, and we have 0 bushels of soybeans on the books to be sold to China. Yeah, no shit. You voted for the tariff guy. And now Arkansas farmers want a handout. They want federal assistance. This poor red state that votes Republican every freaking year. They want a handout. You damn socialists. I guess you're finding out that racism sure is expansive, huh?
Old MacDonald had a farm. Arkansas farmers. Let's talk about it. Arkansas farmers launched the SOS signal this week, stating that they are in dire need of financial assistance from the government. There was a recent study conducted by the University of Arkansas, and in that study, it is stated that 1 in 3 Arkansas farmers are in jeopardy of losing their farms this year if they do not receive a financial bailout. Arkansas farmers are stating that due to the soaring cost of goods, as well as starting to feel the effects of the tariffs, their farms are in jeopardy of going under. In an article that I was reading in Yahoo Finance, a gentleman got on there and said that he was a 6th-generation farmer, and this year he has decided to throw in the towel, and that his son, who would have been a 7th-generational farmer, will not inherit the farm because he has to sell. He cannot compete with the soaring cost of the economy. And the ironic thing that I read in the same article was that many farmers, I think it was about 70% of farmers, were in favor of the tariffs. Many believe that the long-term benefits of the tariff will help them out. However, right now they're struggling and they need some funds. So there is a safety net clause in the big, beautiful bill that just passed, giving farmers access to financial assistance if they're in need of it. However, those funds are not available until 2026. Now, there are people out there opposing farmers getting an emergency bailout. Those opponents who are against giving farmers this an emergency bailout cite things such as the student loan crisis, meaning when the average American, let's just say Mary Sue down the street, is drowning in student loan debt, that person would not be eligible, or there are no bailouts or funds ever available to him or her in those situations. So why is it that when farmers who are businesses or corporations or the car industry or whatever need a bailout, they are quick to say that they want government assistance to help save them? However, when the average American is requesting a bailout, a financial bailout, or even with this emergency economy being the way it is with so many people laid off, how about extending unemployment insurance for those individuals who are in that situation as well? So what determines who gets a bailout? What is the criteria, or who qualifies? So get down in the comments and let me know what you think about that. Do you think that the Arkansas farmers should receive a bailout to help save the food industry in this country? Or do you think that the good cream rises to the top? Another thing that comes to mind when I was reading this story is that what will probably happen is when these farms are going under, major corporations will just sweep in and purchase all of these small individually owned farms. Some may say that's a good thing. Some may say that that's a bad thing. I want to know what you think about that. If you found any value in this post, please make sure to like it. And if you're not following the Black Death Society, what are you waiting for?
This is my take on the Arkansas farmers who are pleading for a bailout because they are months away from filing for bankruptcy on their small family farms. We have been here before. The last time Trump was president, there was a $12 billion farmer bailout because of Trump's tariffs. Bailout money comes from taxpayers. A large portion of that bailout money came from my home state of California because we are the 4th largest economy in the world. So California literally helps keep the lights on. We also feed America because we produce the largest amount of agriculture in America. But these farmers knew that Trump was going to put more tariffs on if he were to get back into the White House. He literally campaigned on it. They literally almost lost their family farms back a few years ago because of these same exact tariffs. They knew that was possible and they voted for him anyways. And why shouldn't they when they continue to get bailed out? There will be a farmer bailout package yet again, and this cycle will continue. I just think the bare minimum should be this. If you are a farmer and you have gotten a bailout to save your family farm multiple times over, you just keep your mouth shut about California. Because we keep your lights on. You don't have to like us, you don't have to visit us, but just keep your mouth shut about us. Don't talk about our crime rate when y'all got the problem of Little Rock. And save your, it's a blue city and that's why it is what it is. You got 2 red senators and a red governor and a red state legislator. That's who controls the money that funnels through to Little Rock. And they do nothing for the high crime rate of Little Rock. You don't need to go on about Gavin Newsom. He's not your governor. He's not your problem. You should have your own concerns about your own governor, who likes to take trips to Paris on taxpayers' dime. You keep your eyes on your own paper, we'll keep our eyes on our own paper while bailing you out. Because that's what California does.
Yeah, you see, they overwhelmingly voted for such kind of a person, knowing very well that in his last tenure, he did not do anything important rather than to impose these same tariffs in his first term are the same tariffs. And the tariffs that he imposed in his first term affected them a little bit, but not as much as they are affecting them right now. They knew that this man was going to do the same, but they said, no, he is our man. Let's vote for him. Now, consequences have actions. They are crying. They are literally crying. I mean, what do you mean by you choose a monkey to be a librarian, and now you start complaining when the monkey start howling and making noise the moment you want to read in silence? Do you believe that a banana can stop? Do you believe that praying, fasting, and begging for hands out will stop the same monkey from eating a banana? No, it can't happen. Yeah, this is to say that consequences have actions. MAGA farmers are crying. Nebraska farmers are regretting. Arkansas farmers are begging for handouts and bailouts. The same people who said no to socialism, they are now begging for the same socialism. They said no to handouts. They are now begging for the same handouts to at least retrieve them from their bankruptcy. But the man does not give listening ears, because right now, China is nowhere to be seen. They won't be buying your soybeans anymore. Yeah? Now, where will be the profit? Everything gone. Workers gone. The migrants who are working their farm gone. Tariffs are there. Farms gone. Tools gone. Tariffs are there. Workforce gone. Everything gone. They are regretting. They are crying. But cry in silence, because we know very well that you are warned that these things were going to happen. And there, it is happening. The FAFO bus is at your stage. Please, let's board this bus together. Let's go and suffer together. Because you didn't want to listen, and now you are proving it the hard way. Soon, some of you will lose your farm, will lose everything, all because you voted for the yellow man, of which you knew he was going to do this. But anyway, those are just some of the things you should be learning day in, day out. It's life anyway. Tell me what you think, guys, in the comment section. Do you think that these farmers should have listened? Or if they could have listened, these things will be happening to them right now? Or what are your comments on this? Do you think they should continue crying, but cry in silence? Because some of the Americans are literally facing the same things, but they are not crying because they knew these things were going to happen. Now, Donald Trump is just confirming that they are happening. But these farmers are pretending that they didn't know these things were going to happen. And now they are here crying, begging, praying, and asking for hands out. What do you have to tell them, guys? Tell them in the comment section. Let's have a discussion, and I hope to see you in our next episode. Adios.